All right, so just before we get going again, just another note. We mentioned in a previous segment that one of the issues with this line is the fact that as time goes on, more and more of the grade is going to deteriorate. So here you can see there's a culvert, and obviously it's been washed out by flooding. You can see it's been somewhat repaired. Some people have thrown down some ties and thrown down some rocks and things like that to repair it, but you can kind of see the damage that's been done on this side here. Okay, so we're going to continue heading towards Pass Lake here. We're inching our way closer. Again, there's just so many things to see on this section. We do have a little rock cut here, kind of on both sides. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see the south side, I guess you can call it, just because of the sun. Again, the rock is a little different here. Okay, and so you can see we're coming up to a very long straight embankment here, and there's a couple of things to see on here. Okay, so you can hear the running water, and so what we have here, we're going to drop down and take a look at this. So we actually have another stone culvert, and this one's actually working. So you can actually see the water kind of flowing down there, and you can't see it on this side, but you can hear it. You can hear the water flowing. So we're gonna jump down and take a look at this one. It is kind of neat. Okay, so we've made our way down below the level of the grade, which you can see is just up there. We're probably about 20 feet down or so. And so what we have is a really neat structure here. You don't see too many of these. And so I don't know if you can kind of make this out because of the sun and the shadows here, but you have the southern end of a rock culvert. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of step over it and go and look. We're going to look at this from the other side where we can kind of see it a little bit better, if I can get over there. So you can see that it's still functioning. And there is a very similar one to this. Let me pull the trees away here. Very similar one to this on the other side of Pass Lake. I don't know the age of this, but it could quite possibly be original. You can see the moss on the rocks. And just sort of the weathered look of the rocks, that it could potentially be an original structure. You know, I can't imagine them kind of doing stuff like this in kind of more modern times. You can kind of see all the rock coming down. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump the grade and go take a look at it from the north side. All right, so we're down here below the level of the grade on the north side. You can hear the rushing water here, this very pretty little creek here, as it flows over these moss-covered rocks. And so then it comes to where it enters the culvert here. And I'll try to get a little bit closer without, you know, kind of falling in the creek here. You can see that it is starting to plug up with a little bit of debris. Looks like it's just been hacked right out of the natural rock here. Kind of really kind of blends in with all the rock that you kind of see in this area. And so kind of, again, potentially could be original, but even if it isn't, kind of a really neat thing to see. So we're going to jump back up on the grade and continue pushing our way west. Okay, so leaving that culvert behind, the sun is bright, beautiful, and it's sunny, and that wind is very chilly. Our next little thing is just right over here, so I'm not even bothering to get on the bike. So we did see a telegraph pole, or what remained of some, and there was a few others that I didn't stop and take a look at, but I thought this was kind of neat. Maybe one of the reasons why you don't see telegraph poles is looks like the telegraph pole graveyard here, you can actually see some of the metal pieces, some of the brackets and things like that from the telegraph poles. You can see some pegs, and it looks like this piece here looks like it's been burned. And you can see some of the bolts, and you can see bits of insulator here. So there's a green one, so either those are Hemingway, that says Hemingway on there, and then there's some clear ones here. Sorry, the ground is frozen still. Like I can't even pull at it, right? So you can actually see there's some there, and again, all bits all over the place. So we're gonna head back up on the grade here and push ahead, and surprise, surprise, we've got another rock cut that's coming up very, very shortly here. So I'll zip you ahead to that. Oh, quick stop. Maybe some of the railway guys can help me out with this. This looks like a piece off of a, is this a brake shoe? Again, I'm not a railway guy, so I don't know what some of these things are. It certainly looks like would be a brake shoe. Okay, so now we're getting into a section with yet more rock cuts. This section, if you didn't come in the springtime, so the two other times I was through here was in the summer. And these bushes here, these alders that are growing up, just completely congest the grade here, and it's very difficult to see very much. Now I do apologize with the sun, it's going to be hard to see kind of the south side of the grade and the south side of the rock cut, but basically you can see the cut here. It's pretty low here, but then you're going to see some bigger ones coming up, and again you can see very much that shale-like nature of the rock. Again, it's hard to see here on the south side simply because of the sun. And it just continues on here. Again, one of the things I've always noticed about some of these things is obviously when you know, I love the construction, I love the engineering when they built these railway lines, and you'll notice that it's not particularly wide. There's not a lot of room on either side of the grade. So here you can see the again, that very layered like type of rock. Again, you can kind of see it's very bit of a red tinge on this side. Maybe this side has been kind of faded a little bit. You can see a little bit of the red. It's very chilly in this cut here. The wind is just kind of coming right through it. And so here you can see the height of the cut here. It's probably, I don't know, 12 feet or so. I'm just trying to judge off of my height. So I'm just under 6 feet, so. One of the things you'll notice is that the north side, sorry, the south side, the side that's sheltered from the sun, tends to grow in a lot faster. So you'll notice all of these balsams and firs and stuff like that that are kind of growing in and kind of burying that side of the rock cut. Probably because they're very sheltered, as opposed to the sunny exposed side. All right, so we're at the end of one rock cut, and then we're going to be starting up. Oh, that wind is strong. We're going to be starting up another rock cut very shortly. It's just right up ahead over there. All right, so back in the saddle here. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind. And so we're just kind of pushing towards Pass Lake here. You can see another piece of rock cut. And then we got another big one coming up just over there. So I'll zip you ahead there. Okay, so now we're entering yet another rock cut. This is kind of the beginning part of it. You can see that it's much higher up ahead. So here you can see kind of, this is a very, very high rock cut. We're probably pushing 20-25 feet. You can see all of the brush and stuff that's come down. I don't know how well you can see the south side here. Again, a little bit different type of rock, but still kind of, you can see that very layered, sedimentary type of rock. Not as common around here. See all the water trickling down. There's a little bit of ice still from the cold temperatures we had last night. You can see it's all kind of frozen up there. Here's a little bit more of that red rock. Here we have the water kind of rushing down. We actually have it's almost like a nice little waterfall. So in the summertime, this would probably be completely dry. And so there is a culvert here. There's no marker on this one. There's a culvert just ahead, and then there's more of this rock cut up here. Shocking. So you can see it just continues on here. And again, probably 20-25 feet high. Notice the different variations. You can see up here it's a little bit different. So here's actually the third mileage marker that we've come across. I guess fourth, but the other one didn't have the actual board on it. So this is milepost 170, and so again, that's the mileage on the Kinghorn. And so if we were to take the mileage from the original Nipigon subdivision, Canadian Northern Nipigon subdivision, or the Canadian National Railways Dorion subdivision, it would be 120.3. You have to subtract 49.7 miles. So here you can actually see, and I mentioned this in an earlier segment, that we would actually have a situation where we would see some of the impact of that soft rock. And so what you can see here is basically this whole face has collapsed down. And I'm pretty sure I was here 2 years ago. The last time I was here, 2019, the summer of 2019, this wasn't here. I don't remember this here, or maybe there was a little bit here, but you can see basically this whole face has just come completely off and just blocked the entire track. Now what we have here is actually the start of the siding here at Pass Lake. So Pass Lake Station under the old mileage was 120.6, and so if we're at 120.3, we're basically right here. So we're going to start Pass Lakes. The station is just right up around here, right around the curve, and so we're just going to continue to work our way in that direction. Just notice this. We actually have what's left of the peg and the insulator. So this is a Dominion 42, and there's actually a bolt here as well. So this might have been one of the crossbeam bolts from the pole. Anyway, so we're going to start pushing our way through the siding here, and then eventually we'll get to the end of our hike for today, our exploration today, very shortly.